morning. What did you had your breakfast? I'm sure you must have had something delicious in your breakfast. Yesterday what did you had in your dinner? Yes, rice rasam. Yes, very good. Rice sambar. Today what did you had in your breakfast? Good. Idli, dosa, very good. So children, today we are going to learn a delicious chapter. Today we are going to learn something delicious. Okay. So what is that delicious? What is there? What is that much delicious in this chapter? So let us learn today's chapter, lesson number 3, cooking the khichdi. What is today's chapter? We will learn in today's chapter, cooking the khichdi. You know what is khichdi, children? You know what is khichdi? Khichdi is huggi. In Kannada we say no huggi. Huggi, you have huggi. Huggi, which is made of dal and rice. Your mummy makes huggi. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಮ್ಮ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹುಗ್ಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳ ಮನೆಯಾಗ? ಹುಗ್ಗಿ ತಿಂತೀರಿ ಶೇರ್ತದ ಹುಗ್ಗಿ ನಿಮಗ. So that is what the khichdi means, huggi. Yes, we also eat khichdi made of sabudana, but this is the khichdi which is made with dal and rice. This khichdi is made of dal and rice. So today is the lesson about khichdi, cooking the khichdi. Now children, when I say today is the lesson of cooking the khichdi, now what is there exactly in chapter? Does this chapter is going to teach us how to make khichdi? Does this chapter is going to say that if we eat khichdi it is good? So let us learn what exactly is there about the khichdi. It is very interesting. Come on. Everyone should have your own textbook. Okay? Yes. Now let us learn what exactly is this lesson about. Why it is known as khichdi. Let us learn. It was winter. The ponds were frozen. At the court, Akbar asked Birbal, "Tell me, Birbal, will a man do anything for money?" Birbal said yes. The emperor ordered to prove it. The next day, Birbal came to court along with the poor Brahmin who had no money. His family was starving. Birbal told the king that Brahmin is ready to do anything for the money. The king ordered the Brahmin to stand inside the frozen pond all through the night without any clothes. If he needed money, the poor Brahmin had no choice. The whole night he was inside the pond shivering. He returned to the darbar the next day to receive his reward. So what happened, children? Here, now children, you know, poor people, if they don't have money, they will do anything to get the money, right? They will do anything, even if it is good or bad work, whatever work is there given to them, they will do it for the money. Even if they are told to clean the floor, clean the toilet, clean the washroom, they will do anything for the money. Yes, if somebody, the poor people who don't have anything to eat, who don't have proper clothes to wear, right, children? So they need money for that. So for that money, they will do anything. They will do anything to get the money. Any work, they will do anything, any type of work, even if it is good work or bad works. They will do that work and for the money, to get the money. Same way, children, in this chapter, there was poor Brahmin. They was very poor. He didn't have anything to eat. His family was starving. What do you mean by starving, children? What do you mean by starving? What do you mean by starving? Starving means people don't have a food to eat, like hungry. Hungry. Starving means hungry. If you are very hungry, you need food to eat. If you are very hungry, you are whole day in the school and you don't have anything to eat. That is, you are hungry, you are starving. So in the same way, children, this poor Brahmin, his home, there was nothing to eat. Their family were starving. Starving means what? Their family were very hungry, didn't have to eat. So that Brahmin wanted to do something. Even whatever work is there, even if that work is very difficult, even if that work is next to impossible, even if that work is very much impossible, then also that Brahmin was ready to do any work. So one day in the court, Emperor Akbar asked Birbal, man can do anything for the work? Birbal said yes. If he is starving, if he needs money badly, he can do anything for the world. So Birbal brought this Brahmin. Birbal brought the Brahmin to the court. He told Brahmin that he told Akbar, that Emperor Akbar, this Brahmin is starving. His family are very hungry. They don't have food to eat. So he is ready to do anything, any work for the money. So Akbar said, yes, Brahmin. Akbar asked to the Brahmin that you are ready to do any work for the money. So Brahmin told to Akbar. Akbar told to Brahmin that you come to the frozen. So children, see this whole thing. Akbar told to Brahmin to stay in this frozen pond. What do you mean by frozen pond, children? Frozen pond means the pond, the river pond, the pond, the sea, the water pond. The pond is filled with the water, and that water is so cold, very cold with the ice, very cold, just as cold as ice, means the water is same very cold like ice and without clothes. Akbar tells to this Brahmin that you stay in this frozen pond without clothes. Means Akbar tells to this Brahmin that pond is very cold like ice and you stay in that cold without clothes. Okay. So this is how the Brahmin is there in this frozen pond without clothes. So children, Emperor Akbar tells to Brahmin that you stay in that frozen. What do you mean by frozen? What do you mean by frozen? Frozen means it is very cold as ice. You know ice cube, how cold it is. Now, children, if the water is full of ice, suppose if you go to Shimla, and in Shimla there is too much of snowfall. Yes, children. Now, if somebody tells you that don't wear sweater, nothing, no clothes, in that, can you stay without clothes in that Shimla with the full of snow? No, right? Even this Brahmin. So Akbar tells to this Brahmin that in that frozen pond which is very cold, very cold like ice, stay in that cold pond without clothes. So Brahmin says, yes, I will stay, because he needed money. He didn't have choice. So he had to stay. So now what happens next? And he had to stay, and then Brahmin goes to the emperor's court to get the money. But does Emperor Akbar gives that Brahmin money? Let us learn. King asked, tell me, O poor Brahmin, how could you withstand the cold temperature all through the night? The innocent Brahmin replied, I could see faintly glowing a light a kilometer away, and I withstood that ray of light. Akbar refused to pay the Brahmin his award. Akbar said to the Brahmin, "You have got the warmth from the light that withstood the cold. This is cheating." The poor Brahmin could not argue with him. He returned disappointed and bare-handed. Birbal tried to explain to the king the Brahmin's case, but king was in no mood to listen to him. So what happens? Akbar says, the Brahmin says, Akbar asked, knowing that the pond was so cold. Without clothes, Brahmin, how did you stay in that frozen pond? So the Brahmin told that from 1 kilometer I could see the light passing. The light of warmth. Means, suppose the pond is here. From there I could see the ray of the warmth. Now suppose the pond is here, the sun rays is standing there. That ray of the sun rays can fall to the 1,000 kilometers, children. So here the Brahmin says the ray from 1 kilometer, the ray of the light. He says from 1 kilometer, the ray of the light, I got the warmth from the ray of that light. Means I could feel hot. Warm means what? What do you mean by warm? Warm means now kannada shaki hattada. That is called warm. Warm means like bit hot. I could feel bit hot. Bhetsagar. Warm means bhetsagar now kannada. That is called warm. Like warm water. So here Brahmin says, I could feel the light, the sun rays light, the warm. So I felt bit warm. In that cold water also, I could get the rays of the sun, I could get the light rays, and I could feel bit warm. So king got angry. That means king said that even in the cold water, you got the warmth from the sun rays. You got the warmth from the light. This is cheating. I will not give you any money. So Brahmin did not have anything. Brahmin could not say anything. He had to go with the empty hand. He had to go with the bare hand. What do you mean by bare hand, children? What do you mean with the bare hand? He had to go with the bare hand. That means empty hand. What do you mean by bare hand? Bare hand means empty hand. No reward, no money, nothing. He has to go like that without any reward. So Brahmin went without any reward. But Birbal told to Emperor King that Brahmin is very poor. He don't have money, he don't have food. So please help him out. But King did not listen. He said no, he has cheated. Emperor King told to Birbal, he has cheated. I will not do anything. So now let us learn what happens. Next day, Birbal did not go to Darbar. He sent the messenger to King saying that he would come to court only after cooking his khichdi. As Birbal did not turn up even after 5 days, King himself went to Birbal's house to see what he was doing. Birbal had lit the fire and kept the pot of uncooked khichdi 1 meter away from it. Then Akbar questioned him, how will khichdi get cooked with the fire 1 meter away? What is wrong with you, Birbal? Birbal, cooking khichdi, replied, O my great king, when it was possible for a person to receive warmth from a light, that was 1 kilometer away, then it is possible for khichdi, this khichdi with just a meter away from source of heat to get cooked. Then Akbar realized his mistake. He called the poor Brahmin and rewarded him with a pack of gold. So understood, children? So what happened? Birbal. Now, did Akbar gave that Brahmin the reward? No. Brahmin did not give him any reward. So, Brahmin did not give him any reward. Brahmin didn't get any reward. Akbar did not give any reward to Brahmin. Brahmin had to go empty house. Even though Birbal told Akbar that Brahmin is very poor, don't have money to eat, still Akbar did not listen. So, Brahmin went empty hand. So then next day, Birbal told to the messenger, Birbal passed a message to the messenger saying that I will come to court only after cooking the khichdi. So, cooking khichdi. So, Akbar said, okay, let him eat khichdi and come. But even after 5 days, even after 5 days, Birbal did not come to the court. So, Akbar went to see. So, what Akbar went to see? What he is doing? Yes, children, now see this. This is Akbar. This is Emperor Birbal. This is Birbal. This is Emperor Akbar. And these are his messenger. Now, here what Akbar is doing? Akbar came to meet Birbal. That why it is taking so long? Why it is taking so 5 days to make a khichdi? So Birbal says, see, here I have put the pot of khichdi. This is pot, this is Birbal, this is fire, and Birbal has put the pot of khichdi on the branch of the tree. So Birbal is showing, see, yes, Birbal is telling to Emperor Akbar that this is pot of khichdi, I have hanged on the branch of the tree, and here is the fire. Now children, when you want to cook, you will keep it on the gas only. Will you hang the cooker on the top of the ceiling and gas below on the ground? No. But here Akbar has set Birbal has set the fire on the ground, and his pot is hanging on the trunk of the tree. So now pot is hanging on the trunk of the tree. Birbal has set the fire on the ground. So Emperor Akbar tells him, what is wrong with you? How can the heat pass 1 meter? 1 meter, how can this khichdi you have hanged on the branch of the tree and fire is on the ground? So Akbar tells Birbal, how is it possible that 1 meter away from the pot you can receive the fire, light of the fire? How is it possible? So that time, Birbal tells to Akbar, when 1 meter of the ray of the light, when the heat passes to the khichdi and khichdi can be cooked, so the ray of the fire can also be passed from the 1 kilometer. It is possible. Okay. Now children, understood? Now here is the fire. Yes children. Now here is the fire. Suppose on the ground there is a fire, and now the pot is, now this is a tree trunk. Okay. On the tree trunk there was a pot. There was a pot where khichdi was there. So from the fire, is it possible? Now, if you are cooking a rice, will you hang cooker on the ceiling and gas on the top? Can the cooker whistle blow? Will the rice get cooked? No. So, but on the fire it is. So here Birbal tries to explain the Emperor Akbar that here on the fire and pot was hanging on the tree trunk which was full of khichdi. So Birbal asked Emperor Akbar asked Birbal, how is it possible? How can the khichdi get cooked on the fire with the fire 1 meter away? It is 1 meter. This distance is 1 meter away. Okay. So he says, that is what Birbal says, oh my king, when it is possible for a person to receive the warmth from the fire which is 1 kilometer away, then this is also possible. Khichdi can also get cooked from 1 meter away if there is a fire. So thus Emperor Akbar understood his mistake. He realized, and thus he called the Brahmin and received him the bag full of gold. Yes. So Brahmin was very happy. If suppose children, if you get first prize, if you get a gold coin, won't you be happy? In the same way, here also Emperor Akbar received bag full of gold and was very happy. So thus this is what today's lesson was about the khichdi. The khichdi taught the lesson to the Emperor Akbar. Okay. Thank you, children.